the year before the war broke out, I found out
Which war was that?
World War II. I do the from talk. We're getting into it thick and heavy. So I volunteered myself to go down to the Fort Monroe, to the school down there. 3 months. Came back home, started working with the highway department, and they called me in. Went back to the same school.
We'd like for you to volunteer again, huh?
Yeah, and then I got a letter on, says if you do not answer the, put them out of the call of arms, they didn't say that. You'd be arrested anyway. But I was already in, see? It's kind of a funny letter. Went to Fort Monroe the second time. We had a great experience. All the kids liked it. Went to school there. Then we went down from there down to Camp Davis. And we had a very nice home that wasn't quite finished when we got down there at Wilmington on the South Carolina, with coastline. And we was between the inner coastline, inner waterways and the outside. It was on that island. The kids went, you didn't, but the older Joseph, Pat, older sister.
Barb and Pat.
Yeah, went swimming nearly every day. Well, to me, I never thought anything about it. I taught her, I said, big wave coming towards you. I said, dive under, come up again. But don't, as soon as the wave passes over, you come to the top, you can't, because the undertow will take you out.
Uh-oh. Sounded like timing was critical.
Yeah. And very obedient because they came back. And then, and of course, you're down in the beginning of World War II. We were out gathered acorns one time, cones off of oak trees. And we got over the car to about Japs bombing Pearl Harbor. I said to my wife, and we had the 4 kids there, and said, take me out to camp right now. And about 2 weeks before I saw it again, where the head thing kind of settled down so I could come home.
Everyone was confined to base.
Yeah. After that, went on to about December the 20th, I believe it was. I was sent, there was 16 of us for that battalion, was sent overseas. We went down to New Orleans, and while I was down there, I met the cavalry troop, and I used to belong to for 6 years.
So you went in the cavalry, right?
Huh?
When you joined, you were part of a cavalry troop originally, weren't you? Or was that for ROTC?
Well, no, different relationship.
Okay.
I joined the cavalry unit along with a good friend of mine, Ray Dennington, Frank Robinson, because we were all marksmen, and we taught marksmanship, and that's all we had to do. See, we shot and taught. But of course, we had to get out when they changed the regulations and said you can't belong to 2 major units. And I got down there on the coastline, and a couple of days I ran around my old buddies.
Oh.
Well, finally, they started putting us on a ship. We didn't know, everything was secret. We didn't know where it was going. And they led us on a ship which was a tourist ship running between Nova Scotia and Cuba. And Army took it over. Well, we had silver drinking jugs, insulated. We had silverware. Everything was top notch, pretty good for troopers
I would
in
think
the field.
so, yes.
And I remember the night before we sailed, the ship was tied up a little longer than usual, and I got up the next morning, looked out over the edge of the ship. Here's a barge load of burned out material. We had a fire on the ship that night, and they didn't even move us.
Is that right?
What had happened, they were welding a gun, a piece, on the back end of that to protect against submarines. And some of the hot molded metal went down into partition, caused a fire.
Pretty good size one, evidently.
Well, anyway, we took out, I believe it was on the 24th, might have been the 23rd, and down in the Caribbean, we had our first Christmas. We was going down around the southern, western edge of Cuba. We were in shallow water where the submarines couldn't hide, see, going around that. I remember Christmas night, another kid, a friend of mine, I was sitting up on the deck, night, dark. Pretty soon we heard a voice, says, "Here's some candy. If you come down below, we'll give you a horn to blow." Well, we blew our nose. I thought, oh, we
got to blow, huh?
Yeah, we were feeling pretty sad about it.
Yeah, you bet.
Well, come over here. I got.
You've got somebody to introduce here, do you?
You just talk.
That was Joan, my good friend that came in there just then.
Maybe we can get her to come in. Look by again when she walks by. Well, we're going to have her walk by the camera in a minute. We'll get her to walk by anyway.
Well, we went down there, went through the Panama Canal, and clear through the Pacific side. Nobody knew where they was going. So the idea we were going to Australia, be put under MacArthur's command. Got over on the Panama City, which is on the Pacific side. Who do they call off the ship? Called the 13 anti-aircraft artillerymen, officers. We get off of that thing. Well, what next, we thought?
What next?
That night we got another call. 6 of us was supposed to get on the train and go back on the Atlantic side. We got on the Atlantic side and met our colonel, commanding the battalion. He called us in. He says, "My son was killed the second day of the war. The Japs raided the Philippine Islands." He said, "I'm in for revenge, and the first one of you let me down. So help me God, I'll get you too."
Was that an incentive plan?
Huh?
Was that an incentive plan?
My God, it scared me worse than the jungle did. What do I have to do to stay on top? We set out in the jungles, and my God, I'd heard so much about the jungle and the panthers and baboons and things like that. I was scared of them.
Good thinking.
There was also rumors that the Germans who were living in Colombia then had mines down there, and they had more airplanes down there necessary to operate the mines. Would soon come in there, you know. Would infiltrate through the jungle. Well, I spent a lot of sleepless nights down there because I didn't know my men.
Yes.
I didn't know where my bed was or anything. We were taking quinine for malaria, and my voice was high-pitched, worse than it is now.
That's from the quinine, did that?
Yeah. Well, that's enough when that Panama story. I was there almost 2 years. 2 years and a few months. I came back time Roosevelt died. Question.
I'm trying to remember then. Then you were back in...
Right?
When you came back from there, is that when we went to Fort Bliss?
Yeah, shortly thereafter. I came back there and I sent to a rest camp down in Arkansas. And one night, 3 of us boys thought we'd go out and see the town. We went into a little tavern and they were telling about how good a whiz bang was. Well, I had to fix me up one and I drank it. I said, I believe they gave me water. I could feel it. Give me another one. Because it tasted good, it's sweet.
Good taste.
I drank that and began to feel a little buzz. And ordered a third one. Times they took me home. I was so thick-lipped I couldn't talk.
They could have operated and you wouldn't have cared, huh?
Got back to camp there. I was supposed to be on a rescue, you know. Had a long-distance call. It's from Evelyn. I said, hello? You're a little drunk. Oh, she said, you're drunk. I said, no, I had a few drinks. And, oh, she was. She did burn it. That's a hell of a way to rest. Well, I went from there to Fort Bliss. I got down to Fort Bliss. I had 2 letters waiting for me. I wrote on the back of it, unclaimed, and sent them back. I never did read it. I knew the damn thing was full of fire. And probably unreasonable. I just had a few drinks.
Just a couple drinks of sweet things that were felt sweet flavor with wine.
Yeah, it took 3 drinks before I get a taste.
Dad, you know, while you've been talking, there's been some unusual background noise going on, and I thought there was a lady in there that could bring the background noise maker in here. Maybe if we talked and clapped real loud, we could get Joan to bring the little noise maker in here that was helping to make...
My great-grandson?
Your great-grandson, yes.
Joan?
No moonwalking. Come on.
Joan?
Move it.
They're on their way.
Maybe.
You,
We want people to know that it wasn't you squealing, that you weren't making those funny little squealing noises, that it was somebody that came up to visit you.
This is really 85 years after the story begun.
That's right. And this is what's happening today. It's still going on.
Come on.
Yes. This is your 8-month-old moonwalker here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. He's very pleased with himself.
One of 5 great-grandsons.
That's right. You have,
And they're all boys.
They're all boys.
they're all boys.
He made that brilliant statement the other night.
Yes, 5 great-grandsons, and they're all boys.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, I was wondering when you were going to call me in, Granddad.
Look at him. He tried to walk. She was a dickens.
Look at that.
Oh, and I'm so pleased with myself.
120 steps a minute, kid.
Yeah.
He's coming, Grandma.
He's wearing out.
Daddy was going to say, I'm coming,
He's wearing
Grandma.
out. And who's holding him? Dad, would you like to introduce this lady?
This is my very good friend with whom I'm staying now, Joan Burnett.
And taking pretty good care of you.
She takes good care of me.
And Nick said, I'm going to cry if she doesn't.
He has been so good.
And I'm going to scold Joan if she doesn't take good care of him. Right. Yes. I don't think he's going to have to
think
squeal
alone
much.
this girl.
I think we noticed, and we're glad.
Now, how did we figure that one out?
Nothing makes us any
Grandma
happier.
really thinks he wants you.
Yes. Yes. And next year he'll come and have a race with you, Granddad.
Let's see, is he my third or fourth great grandson?
He's your fourth. You had one.
Keith?
He's your third. He's your third great grandson. Barbara Ann had one 11 days
Jonathan's 7 days older?
younger.
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 Oh.
And so Jonathan was the fourth one. And then Kate just had one within the last few weeks to make your fifth one. So let's see. Jacob was your first, who was Barbara Ann's first. And then Sean Marie had...
I said, I'm having so many great grandsons. Undoubtedly, we're going to have a war in 20 years.
That doesn't really thrill you.
Does that knock you for a
Tell
roll?
Granddad we want a happy story.
That's right.
Oh, well, they're going to defend our country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
then in 85 years, pull his hair, Nikki.
Giddy.
And in 85 years,
You wouldn't do that, would you?
we're going to put them in front of the camera and let them tell their story. Yes, and we'll put it in the archives.
Well, bless your heart.
Yes.
We
Where's
didn't
Tim?
have to- He's been laughing. He's outside working in the driveway cutting weeds.
Who?
Tim. And I have a table in the back of my car. I want Tim to get off.
And I bet he'd like to do that. I bet he'd be glad to
I
do
find
that.
more things to drag home.
So he's not the youngest great-grandson, but he's the one that happens to be here right now. He can't even be the youngest great-grandson, Stacy, at 8 months. There has to be 2 younger than he is. Does that show that things exploding?
Ah, you want
He
the drink.
thinks I got a,
First thing he likes to do is use his
he thinks I got a
fingerful.
whiz bag, you know, too much
Yes,
butter.
that's right. If it feels good to his fingers, he'll have a drink. He always field tests it first.
You would give him cider, would you?
Apple juice.
It wouldn't hurt him.
Oh, here.
It wouldn't hurt him.
Had to give him a sip.
Betty's mom is
I
just
probably knocked all his teeth out
This
if I had to
baby
do.
is my baby's
Okay,
baby.
you take it.
This is Stacy.
No.
Stacy Elizabeth Ireland.
Oh.
Oh,
Ooh.
he wasn't sure what that was.
He thinks that's hemlock.
He thought it was going to be water and it was a little tangy. That's what.
Oh.
Yes.
Huh.
And he lives in Centerville, Iowa. And we drove through, he'd never, let's see, I started to say he'd never been out of Iowa, but that's not true. He's been over to Missouri
In Illinois.
and Illinois. But coming on this trip, we drove all the way across to Illinois and nipped Indiana and hit Michigan. And came
Well,
to
you're talking
the-
about children.
Yes,
Barbara, my oldest,
yes.
had 5. Was it 5 children? 6. However, one of them died as an infant,
Right.
and Mikey Joe grew into manhood and got killed maybe on about his first real job.
Right.
He is edging.
In a
Yeah.
car wreck.
And then
Here comes Pat.
Valerie and Kate,
Right.
Toby,
Yes.
and Patrick.
And Pat.
Is that right?
Uh-huh. And
Uh,
Dana was the one that died as an infant.
Yeah. Toby's in the Navy. Will you get that, find my hat, cap, if you
I
can?
will try to.
I think it's in the other room, but Toby, when he's here, gave me the hat that he wore as a lieutenant on the Iwo Jima,
Uh-huh.
and when he changed ships and promoted, he gave it to me.
And we'll see if we can find
And
that.
the Navy knows how to make fancy hats, caps.
And Barbara, who is your oldest, has the newest grandson, your newest great grandson. Barbara's the newest grandmother to the family
Oh,
of your children.
let's see. I guess Kate, is that the only one?
Barbara, yes. That's the only one that has children.
And then come down to the second daughter.
Your second daughter,
Yeah.
Patricia Ann.
Pat, She had 3 children. David is teaching school. No, nurse, I believe, nurse out in Iowa. Her husband teaches school, David.
Right. Yeah, David teaches school.
Yeah. And then Barbara Ann is an instructor in violin and plays in an orchestra out in Boston.
And is married to Evan.
Yeah, who's studying to be a minister. I believe he is a minister. He married 2 of my grandchildren.
He got special permission to do that because he doesn't quite have his license, but they gave him a special...
Therefore, their kids are just not quite married.
You had to say that.
Then comes down to Joseph. Joseph had 2 children.
You forgot Matthew. We talked about Barbara Ann, but we didn't get down to Matthew.
Very important.
And he's sitting behind the camera most of his time.
Well, I thought he was taking pictures.
You thought he was a cameraman.
And Matthew lives at Ann Arbor, Michigan. He graduated from,
Washtenaw Community College.
say,
Washtenaw Community College.
yeah. I went to the graduation exercise, very good. And I guess that's 3 of them there.
There, yes.
Now I go to Joseph. Joseph's my oldest son. He's been working over in Australia for 18 years. And his daughter has one of my great-grandsons.
His name is Max, great-grandson.
And his son is in the Navy. And I hear he's married too now. Get down to my next one. Elizabeth, Liz. What else? We might call you.
B-Bets.
Uh-oh. My granddad's fight.
A little more background music there, yes.
Did you find that?
No, she's still looking. She's still
No,
looking.
I'm not looking. I quit looking. I could not find the hat.
Well, we'll look in a minute then and see if we can find it, put on the end.
I found something though for me and...
She found the toy for Nicholas. She quit looking because she found a toy for Nicholas.
Oh.
That's our new background music.
We'll have to bring out my owl here, my famous owl.
Yes.
Well, and then Joseph.
And we were talking about Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. Then comes my...
But Elizabeth had 3 children.
Huh?
But Elizabeth had 3 children.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
the oldest one?
The oldest one, Tim, is going to the University of Iowa State now.
And he's the one that bought the camera so we could have this great tape.
Fortunately.
Right.
And then there's
It's
Tim, Bo, who is married, and he lives over in Saudi Arabia right now.
right.
And his wife wears a hooded gown.
Right.
They go shopping. She has to be accompanied by her husband to go shopping. She can't come and leave Saudi Arabia without his permission.
And they're not allowed to hold hands
Yeah.
over there in
Holding
public.
hands is like standing naked here
That's right.
in this country.
That's right.
They were home recently, and oh my goodness sakes.
Well, you're going to talk about that in just 1 minute after we finish my family, and then we'll get back to the rest, because you've
Yeah.
got one more to go. Who just brought this out? This is the last one of mine. This is
Yeah.
my baby.
I want to, let's see, come Sean.
Oh, you want to say Stacy.
Stacy, oh.
My baby that just brought out this big monster here.
Yeah, that was Stacy, my granddaughter, who's also the mother of my great-grandson,
Nicholas Max.
Nicholas Mack. They lived down in Iowa,
And then came Sean.
and you saw him on the
Right.
camera a minute ago. And then, that's all of that family, isn't
Right.
it?
And so he was married to his second daughter.
Stacy's husband going to school studying computer now, isn't he?
And his name is Carol Max.
Which is a common thing to do nowadays.
Big demand.
All right, then Sean. Sean was in the, Sean was in the Vietnam War, except he was stationed in the Philippine Islands. And his duty was to go into Vietnam anytime the communication lines was tore up, help restore them.
He was in the Air Force.
Yeah, in the Air Force. He had two children in it.
His wife, Sherry.
The oldest one is Stephanie. I think she's 15 now, isn't she?
Pretty close.
And ask her what she's doing in high school. Well, she tells me about her boyfriend. That's all I get out of her.
That's important at 15.
Yeah. And one of the two Dalrymples by name is Peter.
Carrying on the family name.
Yeah, carrying on the family name. And Joseph boy,
Brian.
Brian, who's in the Navy now, is the other Dalrymple. So the line is getting thin, isn't it? A little old,
Well, the name is getting thin. The line is getting fat.
got a bulge in it.
Right, right. And Peter takes, I'm not sure it's karate lessons, but it's something along that line, and has earned several belts.
Yeah, he wears a belt, and he's not allowed to protect himself with that.
That's right.
Why he takes it? He probably would use it in the case of an emergency.
And it's what, self-discipline too, mainly, isn't it? And body.
They live out in Boulder, Colorado, and Sean, after he got out of the Army, got a job, civil service, working at the University of Colorado, Boulder. And then comes Nick, my youngest son.
Last but not least.
In some respects, he's pretty close to me, because he was just a baby when his mother passed away, and I kind of held him in my arms maybe too long. I remember one time I was leaving the house to go to camp. He went up and piled a bunch of chairs in front of the toilet so I couldn't get out.
That's right.
The door opened the wrong way, and when I opened the door, his face just fell and he went and laid down on the dashboard. He thought he had me
Trapped in. Yeah.
locked in.
Yeah.
And a few other things like that. He had asthma, attacks of asthma. Every time he heard the word, Daddy's leaving.
Yep.
Yeah. So he made it kind of close to me because he grew up with me. We ran around together, took pictures, joined the Scouts.
So that's where you were so close with the Scouts. But he got married. Grew up
He married a university graduate from Champaign, Illinois. And Joseph graduated there too. I mean, Nick graduated there too. But 4 years behind him because he was in the Army 4 years. He was in Vietnam War for 1 year.
One long year.
Yeah. But I think he's overseas exactly 1 year, he said. Put him on a plane, sent him out there.
Right out in boot camp.
Yeah. And of course, that was 1 year of worry.
Certainly was.
And he has two little girls. One of them he adopted. And they put in an application to adopt another one. They said, no, you can't adopt one until you kept this 2 years. Well, in the meantime, I'd gone to Australia. I got a telephone call one day. Guess what? And just her happy voice. I said, you're pregnant. How'd you know? She said.
It wasn't hard to tell. You heard it all in her voice, didn't you?
And
And they look like sisters.
Yeah, they're both little blonde-headed kids.
Suzanne and Sarah. Sarah and Suzanne. Sarah's the oldest. And Suzanne. Just before we get off the family, Dad, I wanted you to say what one of the neat things you got to do in your life when you went to a Boy Scout Jamboree, and how many of your grandchildren did you get to take, your grandsons did you get to take with you, and can you name them?
About, I think 1970 maybe. I went to, I had a scholarship to go to camp out in Philmont. Next year I took a bunch of Boy Scouts out there, and one of them was David Whale. Then the following year, it was a jamboree down in Pennsylvania, and I had 5 of my grandsons in my troop. There was Matt Whale, Tim Stelzer, his brother Bo Stelzer, Gonzala, Toby Gonzala, and Brian Dalrymple. We had about 10 days, and we went up through Washington Capitol and Gettysburg Field, Battlegrounds, and Richmond. Came back and was discharged. The only casualty was Tim got stung with bad bee. Was in the hospital a couple of days.
Kind of swelled up, didn't he?
He sure did. He was a sick boy.
I can remember the phone call, and he says, "Guess what, Mom? I finally found out something I'm allergic to." That was my phone call. I said, "What was that?" And he said, "Bee stings." He was so proud of himself. He says, "I swelled all the way up and I couldn't move." And I thought, wonderful. But they had a great time.
Yeah.
Now, you have one of God's creatures sitting there to your right, Dad.
What's that?
You have one of God's creatures sitting there to your right.
Oh, here, I brought in a kind of a, what would you call that? We'd call it a, well, let's see, not a painting, not a,
It's not a sculpture, it's a
statue.
We have a display of an owl in its natural habitat almost, don't we?
yeah, there must be a name for that thing. It's just 2 things brought together here.
Beautiful.
When I had my first trip to Philmont, I was out walking up a dry bed towards the mountains, and I came across this stuff here. This stuff has 3 rocks grown into the thing. One underneath there you can't see, but almost in the center of the tree, a small cubical rock here, and then this small boulder here. What we're looking at is the roots of a tree. And as some high water came up, and you wigged the bark, weighed about 3/4 of all these roots, no bark on it. And there wasn't enough bark then to sustain life, but it fell over. And I found it in a shallow part of the stream where it had floated up and docked. I carried that about a half mile and brought it home. Well, several years later, I was hunting deer down on the Wabash River, near the Ohio River. And in the backwaters of the the Wabash River, and early one morning before daylight, I heard more or less I saw a shadow. Something fell out of a tree. I thought it was a hunter's coat or something. He might be up there. I didn't see him. And about 45 minutes later, it was breaking day, and I decided, well, no deer are going to come this way. I went down to see what it was. And this owl was on the ground and had a broken wing. It was dragging it. Well, it gets a lot to kill owls, but I felt like I had a legitimate reason because we'd starved to death. So I dispatched it. Later I went into town. I like this story. I went into town and ate breakfast, and here was a fellow that had 5 or 6 animals that he'd mounted on the wall around. He also had a picture there, had an article taken out of the paper. He'd been in 23 jails all over the world. He's a merchant marine, and apparently he liked his liquor. I told him, I said, would you mount a bird for me? Oh yeah. I said, well, there's a little catch to it. I said, you're not supposed to kill owls. Do you think you could mount the thing? And I'd like to keep it. It's a rare bird. Oh, sure. So I gave it to him and left. And about 2 weeks later, I got a letter from him. He says, your owl is mounted. Now you can pick it up. So I went back down there to hunt deer again. And I go in there and hear this owl sitting on a player piano by the door. I said, my God, you don't have that thing up there where everybody can see it. There'll be questions asked. I said, that won't be easy. So I drank a cup of coffee there, and about I got ready to pick up my owl, the sheriff walked in there. Biggest fellow I ever seen in my life. And I turned to him and I said, did you double cross me? Nah, he won't do anything. Yes, they did. I said, how about give me another cup of coffee? I'd like to get acquainted here. I sat down and we talked about a half hour, and I said, well, it's getting late now, it's time to go get my deer. I walked out the door and grabbed that thing under my arm and went out. I fully expected him to tap me on the shoulder. Where are you going, buddy? And I said, oh, nowhere. Well, my children are all grown, and so I made up my mind I'd stay with him until the end. I wasn't going to give him a dime.
You didn't have anybody else to raise, huh?
So it took about 5 or 6 years to assemble these 2 things and a platform, which I got down to K-marks. And it's already cut that way, just among the scraps. And it brings back old times.
It certainly, and it turned out beautiful. And I think it looked gorgeous in my log cabin.
I didn't know what kind of an owl it was for a number of years. And Patty was over at the nursing home there one time. Went down to the library, got bird book out. And you noticed, I hear a chin there.
Sorry about that. Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
That's what you call a cat, Ashley?
We got a good shot of your kneecap, I think, there for just a minute, Dad. Okay, and under the chin, what?
Under the chin is horizontal bars, and they actually call it a bar owl. And it lives in the swamp.
In the swamp?
It lives in the swamps and native most of the Ohio Valley. So
is that where you were? Were you in the Ohio Valley?
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's a contradiction here. He's in swamps, and this comes out of the arid part of New Mexico.
And they fit beautifully together.
Yeah. He looks like he's right on there waiting for a mouse to go by.
For his dinner to come by. That's great. It really is. Well, Dad, we've really enjoyed you sharing all these things with us.
What's that?
We've really enjoyed you sharing all this information with us. This is something very special for us.
We'll have to get together and finish the story.
We'd like to do that. Yes, that would be super. I think he probably needs more to drink than that now, Joan.
Joan, did you find that cat?
No, sir, I didn't.
Well,
I have no idea.
as far as I know,
I think we'll shut the camera off and have a search for it.
I got in that closet and I thought it was up on that one shelf. Let me check your dresser drawers. Bedroom.
This booth, when that thing fell down, it looked like I jumped up there.
Probably. Like somebody pitched
got
you
shut
up there.
Everything shut off?
No, I don't know how to shut it off.
Well, I believe you shut it off.
Oh, wait, you're recording.